has created the first law on cats and dogs' welfare to be applied across the bloc. The rules will target illegal trades and harmful practice against these pets. The European Parliament and Council have just defined their positions and are now entering negotiations to fine-tune the law. The rights of these pets are at the heart of EU Decoded.
There are 127 million cats and 104 million dogs in the EU, with 44% of households owning either pet, according to European Commission data of 2023. The upcoming legislation sets minimum rules for the entire EU, such as mandatory microchipping and registration of dogs and cats born in or imported into the bloc. The European Parliament added that there should be a ban on the sale of dogs and cats in pet shops in an amended proposal approved this month. Finally, to avoid consanguinity, the crossbreeding between parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, as well as between siblings and half-siblings, will be prohibited.
Registration is mandatory in 24 of the 27 member states, but systems are fragmented. Let's hear what Europeans think about the new rules.
Jó dolognak gondolom, mert bármikor történhet olyan, hogy egy kutya elveszik, elszalad.
Nem jó, egyértelműen azt gondolom, hogy nem. Szabadon tarthatnánk az állatainkat.
Dass das Tier wie ein Ausstellungsstück im Schaufenster steht oder man weiß nicht, wo die Mutter herkommt, wo der Vater herkommt.
Tierhandel, also viele züchten immer, züchten und naja, landen die Tiere irgendwo auf der Straße, Beispiel Rumänien oder was weiß ich hier, Kosovo oder was weiß ich, wo das ist.
Euronews reporter Gerardo Fortuna has been following this portfolio. The law aims to curb inappropriate practices in trade and breeding of these pets. Let's start by explaining these new limits on the number of litters that a female animal can have. Why is it so important?
The Commission proposal sets a clear limits on the litter. So basically, a female of a dog or a cat can have maximum 3 litter over a 2-year period. And after that, they're going to have at least 1 year of break. This is because frequent pregnancies actually lead to malnutrition or also weakening the immune system of the female dog and cat.
So is this addressing the so-called puppy mills?
Indeed, it's one of the ways to curb this phenomenon of puppy mills. At the moment, it's actually both backed by the Council and the Parliament.
There are also new rules and recommendations for pet owners in terms of the conditions that should be provided for the animals. What does the law impose now?
There are some new standards when it comes to, for instance, species nutrition, depending on the species of the animal, a walk in the day, but also, for instance, confinement. This is approved just for transport or during hospitalization.
So the 3 European institutions will now negotiate the final text of this law. Are there still any points of friction? What else could change?
The main point of frictions are due to the fact that the European Parliament position is more ambitious than the Commission's proposal, but also than the Council position. So, for instance, they're trying to ban inbreeding or breeding for extreme physical traits, but also euthanasia for healthy dogs in shelter. Of course, we can see some sort of resistance from the Council with the traditional arguments of the Council. So basically, this will add more red tape and more burdens on businesses in Europe.
The EU dog and cat trade is worth 1.3 billion euros annually, and 60% of owners purchase them online. Online trade has led to opacity regarding the origin of the animals, their health, and whether they are vaccinated. Regarding illegal trafficking, the main countries of origin are Romania and Hungary, both EU members, and the third countries Russia, Belarus, Serbia and Turkey, according to a study by the European Commission.
Our guest is Tilly Metz, a Luxembourgese politician from the Green Group here at the European Parliament and shadow rapporteur for this regulation. The new rules are expected to apply to about 40,000 commercial dog and cat breeders across the EU, and many of them sell their animals online. Do you believe that the future online platform will be enough to ensure traceability, or should the European member states also invest more in inspections and even punitive measures?
I think it's very important that you can certify, if you're a breeder, that your animal is not only microchipped, but really also registered. And it's really the aim and the responsibility now from the Commission side to put a system that will work also in every member state. So we have also then the guarantee of interoperability to really have traceability of the animal throughout Europe.
Illegal pet traders operate in mafia-like structures, said your colleague Peter Lees 2 years ago when the Commission proposed this regulation. Will the new rules actually curb this, in particular with uncooperative countries such as Russia and Belarus, which are some of the main suppliers?
That's why we want also that the animal is registered as soon as possible when it comes into the European Union. So what we have been advocating is really that the animal is registered already at the border. But now it is really to look also what is possible to implement. But the rule should be that the animal is also registered in the lapse of time when it comes into the European Union.
So finally, although dogs and cats are about 90% of Europeans' pets, could this law be extended to other companion animals? Could you explain a little bit the positive list that is advocated by the European Parliament? Which species could be included?
You know that some people like to have snakes or even animals, wild animals that are protected, or little monkeys or whatever. So if we have a positive list, that would mean all the animals that are not on this positive list, you are not allowed to have them as companion animals.
Electronic tracking may also help to combat pet abandonment. There are an estimated 100 million dogs and cats on streets and in shelters across Europe, according to the Socialist and Democratic Group in the European Parliament. We won't know whether this situation will change until the European Commission presents the first evaluation report in 5 years. But first, we need the regulation to be approved.